Hi guys! Today's video is a Rainbow High doll restyle video, and it's a very interesting project. And the star of today's project is Victoria Whiteman. She has no eyes. I know. I didn't do that to her. I got her like that. So we're gonna do her justice. I'm gonna give her new eyes, new eyelashes. I'm going to enhance her hair color. She is going to get new clothes and some shoes. I hope you guys are excited to see what she's gonna look like at the end of the video. I know she is. So let's get to it. And I'm gonna start with giving her some new eyes. I have blue and gray eyes that are not really meant for Rainbow High, but I used them in one of my projects already. And I'm gonna try and use them in this project. Looks pretty scary so far, doesn't it? I guess Halloween content came early, and I decided to give her gray eyes. So I take the sanding block and start sanding the eyes until they're the shape that I need. It didn't take me very long to sand them down to this oval shape that would be acceptable for using with Rainbow High dolls. As usual, I warm up the doll's head for about 5 minutes, so it's super easy to insert the eyes. Because those eyes are hollow in the back, I needed to use some putty to keep them in the desired place. In this video, I decided to show a little bit more of my struggles of when I'm inserting eyes and trying to decide what kind of eye expressions, so to say, I want to give this doll, so you don't think that it's so easy, just pop pop and that's it. So this is what she looks like with those eyes in. I'm going to adjust them a little bit more later, but for now, that's it. And now I'm going to prepare her hair for styling and dyeing by taking out all the rubber bands and getting the braids unbraided. I decided to separate some lighter strands of hair around her face and keep them lighter, so I'm not gonna dye those. So I put a rubber band on that section of hair so I can hopefully keep it separated. I'm going to use Rit Dye Sunshine Orange, and I'm gonna look it up on their website to see what combination of colors I want to use. As usual, before I dye her hair, I have to wash it to wash out all the product and other things that might be in her hair. I use just a little bit of regular shampoo that I have at the moment, and then I don't use conditioner until after I dyed her hair. So those are the colors that I'm going to be mixing. Here's my Baskin-Robbins spoon, and this is what the mixture looks like in the pot. And again, as usual, I dip the doll's hair in for 20 seconds, then cold rinse, then repeat until I like the color that I'm seeing. And as usual, I remind you that when it's wet, it looks a lot darker, so when the hair dries, it will be a lighter color. Next step is using some conditioner on her hair and brushing her hair, which is very important when the conditioner is still in because it's a lot easier process like that. After all of that, next step is laying her flat to dry. So here's what her hair looks like after drying. She looks like a cute little fox. Her freckles are really complemented by this new hair color. And now let's give her some new clothes. I cut out a rectangle out of a white stretchy fabric that I had laying around. It's about 3.5 inches by 1.5 inches. I'm going to use my veteran Violet doll. I guess more Halloween content, woohoo! So I try on the fabric like so and see how I want it to fit, and then I take safety pins and I pin it in place. This is my first time making a corset using this technique, so we'll see what happens.
Once I adjust how it fits, I then get some clear glue and a brush, and I start applying the glue all over the corset. Everywhere, make sure all of it is soaked in glue. That's why it's so important to use an old doll or the doll you don't care as much about. After you covered the whole thing, you need to leave it to dry, however long it will take for that corset to dry. For me, it was several hours. Meanwhile, I'm going to start on the skirt. For the base, I will need a rectangle. It's about 6 inches by 2 inches. And it will need to be hemmed along the longer sides. Next, I took some tulle and cut out 3 strips. They are 16 inches by 2 inches. Then I fold the strip in half and then I make a seam so I can ruffle it together. Here you can see me trying it on so I know where to tie the knots, and then I start attaching the ruffled pieces to the base. As you might guess, one is going to be on the very bottom, one in the middle, and one strip on the very top of the skirt. Here you can see what it looks like after I attach each strip. It starts to look quite fluffy and cute. Try it on to see how it fits. Never mind Violet in the background. Next, we need to attach Velcro. I already shown how to do that in many of my videos, so please watch or watch here. You will need to cut it to the needed size and then attach it by either sewing it on or gluing it on. Here's what the skirt looks like, and I tried on the doll just to make sure. Once the base coat of glue is dry, I take it off just to make sure I can detach it from the doll. And then I remove the safety pins and then I put more glue on the back flaps, so to say. After you do that step, you need to make sure that the glue is fully dry before you can proceed. So my corset is fully dried, so now I can proceed to trimming it to the shape that I want. I keep trying it on the doll and then keep trying to cut off and out the things that I want. Once I'm happy with what the base of the corset looks like, I'm going to work on decorations or design. I take a very thin ribbon and then I kind of measure it as I go, and then I cut it so that in the future I can glue it on there. So I have 2 that are 1.5 inches, 2 that are 1 3/4 inches, and 2 that are 2 inches and 3/4 inches. I also plan on gluing this mesh fabric on top of my corset to give it a little bit more texture. So I cut out a rectangle that's roughly 6 inches by 1.5 inches. Then I take some more clear glue and a brush and then I glue on that mesh fabric on top of the corset. And please don't make my mistake and wash your brushes very carefully because you can see some yellow seeping through onto my corset. Once you're done with that, you need to let it dry again. Next, I used Fabri-Tac glue to attach all of the ribbons in the desired design. And here you can see that I have not trimmed the mesh fabric yet. I will do it later after I glue on all of the ribbons. And here's what it looks like so far. It's glued on pretty well. Now it's time to trim. I go around and I trim to the point that I'm happy with what it looks like. So for the bottom of the corset, I just start gluing on the ribbon without cutting it off. I just go around and then I cut it off once I reached the end. For the back of the corset, I kind of overlap it a little bit on the top and bottom and then cut off the needed amount. She had some makeup imperfections I needed to correct, so I took some white gesso. Unfortunately, I didn't have any clear one, and I put some on, and then I moved on to erase her lip color. It took me quite a while because I used small amounts of nail polish remover, and I couldn't risk erasing any of her freckles on her face. Here she is without any lipstick, and I think she looks adorable. Then I put some white gesso on her lips to sort of prime it. New hair color, new lipstick color. While the primer is drying, I'm going to sew on a button for the corset so it always stays tight. I know it's not ideal, it's a big button, but sadly I didn't have any smaller ones. After I'm done, I attach a little thread to the other side of the corset that will help me button it. Next, we need to cover up that spot in the middle, and I used a little cute pearl and Fabri-Tac to attach it. And now it's time to style her hair. I have those two strands that are framing her face. I'm gonna brush them and use some hair gel on it. As you can see, the doll got new eyelashes, new lip color, and I also filled in that spot where her eyeliner was missing. I show a lot of face-ups on my channel, so please watch the videos for that process. Meanwhile, I am creating a middle part so that then I can separate her hair, part of her hair, into two ponytails. She has some bald spots, so I have to make sure they're not visible when her hair's up. Now I got those cute hair accessories online for human hair, but I'm going to use it to cover a part of her ponytail and make it pretty. She is also getting some custom earrings and a necklace. And here's the finished look. What do you think? I like her new hair color. I honestly thought Victoria Whiteman can't get any better, but I do love this hair color. So she went from a creepy doll with no eyes to this beautiful, beautiful doll. And as usual, thanks for watching. See you in my next video.